The first patient diagnosed with Ebola in the United States has died of Ebola in a Dallas hospital, bringing more attention now to the questions surrounding his care and whether he'd be alive today if he'd been treated for Ebola when he first sought medical attention. Thomas Duncan was 42 years old, and his death comes as the U.S. is scrambling to set up screening for incoming passengers at major airports of entry. It's where we begin tonight. NBC's Ron Mott is in Dallas. Ron, good evening.
Brian, good evening to you. A late development to report. A man was brought here to the hospital today. He's a member of the Dallas County Sheriff's Office. He was in that apartment where Thomas Eric Duncan was staying. The officer was there to serve that quarantine order on Duncan's family, a family now suddenly prepared to say their final goodbyes to their lost loved one. Thomas Eric Duncan died shortly before 8 local time this morning, 8 days after being diagnosed with Ebola.
Today, we are deeply saddened by the death of the patient in Dallas. Despite maximal interventions, we learned today that he passed away.
Duncan's nephew left the hospital without speaking. But a question many are asking tonight, did a 2-day delay hospitalizing Duncan ultimately cost him his life? He complained of symptoms on the 24th, went to the hospital on the 26th, but was sent home with antibiotics. 2 days later, he returned by ambulance. He was given fluids, put on a ventilator, and treated with an experimental drug. Now comes the delicate and critical process of handling Duncan's body, which is dangerously contagious. Wearing protective gear, workers must wrap the body in 3 layers of plastic for either immediate cremation or to be placed in a specially sealed casket. Meantime, officials are tracking 4 dozen people, especially the 10 who had direct contact with Duncan. They include his fiancée and her family who were in the apartment where he stayed. Their pastor broke the news to them at a home where they are being quarantined, keeping, he said, a safe distance.
Their thoughts not only go to the shock and sadness of losing Mr. Duncan, but also whether this will be the course that their life will take next.
Tonight, NBC Dallas affiliate KXAS reported that Senior Sergeant Michael Monning, who served Duncan's family that quarantine order, was admitted to the hospital here for observation after saying he felt ill. Ebola has not been confirmed. Nevertheless, a community remains on edge as they count down the 21 days of the incubation period.
I'm pins and needles every day in Dallas this week, and yes, throughout the whole 21 days.
Now in Nebraska today, the freelance cameraman working for NBC News in Liberia got a blood transfusion today with blood donated by Dr. Kent Brantley, one of the American survivors of Ebola. Dr. Brantley said he made an offer here to this hospital for Thomas Duncan, did not hear back. We asked the hospital for comment tonight, Brian. We have not heard back.
Ron Mott starting us off from Dallas.